Sahinavavatu Sahino Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. How does the analogy of an object and its reflection help one get rid of bheda bhranti, illusion of separateness? Answer: reflection of the face seen in a mirror does not exist in the mirror. However, when you see the mirror, the rays of vision fall on the mirror and are reflected back into the optical region of the brain, where it is seen as a reflection. The reflected image is not there in the mirror, but seems to be so. Now, this is a very scientifically explained that whatever you see, now there's two things over here. Whatever you see in the mirror is actually the vision getting reflected back in the optical nerve in the brain. One. And there is nothing in the mirror. But what an illusion that nobody doubts what they see in the mirror. If you can, place a large size mirror on the top of, say, a mountain, bending it to such an angle that the whole town gets reflected in the mirror. Say, Nainital, if you are on the hilltop, place a large mirror, the whole town, the lake, the mountains will be seen in the mirror. I am getting a very nice vision of New Zealand. In the South New Zealand, there is a beautiful small town. So if you are at the top of the mountain where you go with the ropeway, so from there our eyes can see the whole town. So obviously if you put a large size mirror, then the whole town in the huge blue lake and at least 8 to 9 peaks of the mountain will be reflected in that mirror. But as such, there is nothing in the mirror. The optical region of the brain is where the reflection is actually being formed. But we all think that we are seeing it in the mirror. There is nothing in the mirror, but it seems to be so. The attributes of a reflected image, such as being distinct from the object existing in the mirror and being laterally inverted, these three and their perception is an illusion. When you see your face in the mirror, then your face is not looking exactly as it is, because it's showing us an opposite. But nobody doubts that. Nobody doubts that, for example, say there are trees by the side of lake, and those trees get reflected in the lake, stilled water. The trees will look upside down. And same goes when you see your face in the mirror. The face is not being seen as it is. The left is right, the right is left. Yet people use that mirror to dress up and do makeup and do this, that, or tie a turban or comb their beard or hair. But they never doubt that what I am seeing is not real. What is there in the mirror? Actually nothing. Yet your eyes are seeing it. So the mirror can show you an inverted image, and there is nothing in the mirror, yet the perception is happening. That's an illusion. Thus the illusion of these attributes has to be discerned with conviction in order to realize the ever oneness of the object and its reflection. Similarly, pure Brahma is the reflecting object. It is reflected as Jeeva in the mirror. Now it's what a funny thing it is. It is Brahma. Now we are saying we are not saying using word he or she. We are using it. Napunsakling. In Sanskrit it's called Napunsakling. It, the Brahma, in the Maya, is reflected as Jeeva. Biggest illusion ever. Now why is it happening? Ignorance. Just as it appears in a dream, one Jeeva seems to be the protagonist, and the countless others apparently existent Jeevas are called the Jeeva Bhasa, Abhasa. The reflected Jeeva and the reflecting Ishwara are not separate but eternally one. Now this is something, the drama which happens every night. The Jeeva is dreaming, and countless bodies and nature and the whole Jagat world is seen. Yet in all that drama you see yourself also, your own body as there, as one of the participants, who actually is experiencing the whole thing, everything. So there is a protagonist, and then there are these multiple Jeevas and the whole Jagat is there. And all those Jeevas in the dream, and all that nature what is being seen, the multitude forms and names which are seen are actually projection of the Jeeva itself. So the one who created the dream becomes the Ishwara, and the one who is being seen in the dream becomes the Jeeva. However, by the virtue of the immense power of Maya, Jeeva exhibits attributes such as distinctiveness from the reflecting Ishwara, the notion of being a Jeeva, the notion of having limited knowledge, reduced strength, being finite, being countless, etc. All this is an illusion. So basically it is Brahma which is being reflected as Ishwara, being reflected as a Jeeva. Ishwara has its own properties. Jeevas have all the which I have just read, the properties, and so different from one another. Now mind you, even the Jagat which is seen in the dream has been created by the mind. So this Jagat, this world, can be called the dream of the Ishwara, in which countless Jeevas have been formed. And all the nature in its plurality is Ishwara. That's why Gita says, Ishwara sarva bhutanam. Ishwara is present in every element. All bhoot, nami. It's actually the Ishwara. And yet, because of the Maya, the Jeeva thinks, I am just this one body alone. And limited, and no strength, and being finite, and being of huge number. By discerning their illusory nature with the conviction, one realizes the eternal oneness of the reflecting Ishwara and the reflected Jeeva. So this thing has to be understood by the power of the viveka, discerning. If you don't use the viveka with conviction, you cannot realize, one, the eternal oneness with the Ishwara of all Jeevas, And two, that Ishwara and Jeeva are actually both reflections of the Brahm. So, as long as you see other as other, you are in ignorance. One time somebody asked me a question like, you are a visitor, you are a visitor, you are a visitor. And those who live in ashram for last few years or who have just joined. So talking on behalf of all, this visitor asked me this question that, Gurumaa, how come you take care of even the smallest wish which we just have it in our mind and you just say it and then you make that thing available to us, whatever it might, small or big. How come you know that? And why would you do that? Because usually when you have a set of friends, even in friends, you choose that one person you like to, okay, should I help this person or not? Should I give this person or not? And not everybody is your favorite. Same goes for the family. Not everybody is your favorite. You don't want to do everything for everybody. It's you just pick and choose, here and there. But how come you don't make this kind of differences? How come you take care of even this desire or that? It might be very small, but yet. The reason is simply this, because I don't see you as other. I see you as me. So I am not doing anything for other. I am doing it for me. And why wouldn't I? From your side, I am other. From my side, you are not other. That's the difference. Or should I say the only difference? So the conviction that there is this oneness. Now if you see this oneness, that gives me the right also to be hard on, say, one or individual or anybody else. Because I am not being hard on the other. But the other might not understand this. Because they see me as other, and for me, other is a hell. There is nobody called other. Other is illusion. It's not something which you cultivate. That I'll be empathetic to everybody, I'll be compassionate to everybody, I will be kind to everybody, I'll be nice to everybody, I'll be good to everybody. You will be for few times and then again you will be the same cruel, rude. And that's what I see. Most of the times people are very nice and good. One uncomfortable thing happens to them, the demon comes out. And then they are firing bullets. Because they were not a genuine person. Because their mind is so infested with the diseases of ignorance. So they are something else, but they'll exhibit something else, they'll say something else, they'll mean something else, in their heart they have something else. And they are always in competition with everybody whosoever is around them. Because everybody should be a failure and I should be the number one. And now this I-boosting activities and the I-boosting emotions and the I-boosting thinking, and it's always this inflated ego which is nurtured. Nurtured, I'm saying. Reason is very simple. It is the ignorance, the ajnana of that individual. In this manner, the analogy of an object and its reflection helps one get rid of the illusion of separateness. Question: how does the analogy of redness of a crystal due to a red piece of cloth kept under it help one to get rid of kartābhoktāpane bhṛānti, this illusion of being a doer and bearer. Answer. Illustration. A crystal kept on a red cloth appears to be red. Have you ever seen a crystal? It has the qualities, very translucent. So whatever colored cloth is kept nearby or on the top of it, the crystal will change its color. The appearance of red color is due to their associative relationship. However, the color red is in effect the attribute of the cloth and not of the crystal. If the crystal and the red cloth are separated, the crystal will no longer appear red. Thus, redness is not the attribute of crystal. However, because of the illusion, the crystal appears red. Now, the application of this formula is done like this, that doership and bearership are attributes of antakaran. I am the doer. See how big doer you are. I want to do this. Everybody is like that. I'll show to the world. I'll show to the family. I am number one. I'll come number top. I'll do this. I'll do that. I am the best. You were a fool. I am the smart. Continuously, this doership is actually killing you. I have so much weight on the head. And if somebody says to you, you don't do anything, that's like a killing statement. I do everything and you say, I don't do anything. And then the crying and the bereavement as if somebody has died will begin. And if you see all the people who are gone in the plus 60 age, they are always singing this song. I have done so much, nobody has appreciated me. I do everything for everybody, nobody is there for me. They have this. And all you young ones, know this, remember this, write it down in your diaries of head. When you will be in your 60s, you too will be singing this same song. I did so much for my wife, for my parents, for my children, for my sisters and brothers. And see, now nobody is there to help me. Because people are selfish. They are going to discard you. They are going to leave you. They are going... Just today, this morning, one of my disciple died. He was a doctor in Amritsar. He was a doctor. He was just having tea and this cardiac arrest happened. Died. And wife, I had a talk with the wife and she was saying that it's okay, well, I did cry a lot because it was so sudden. Nobody is prepared for death. Nobody is prepared for death. And now some people are so prepared, like today's news was that 50 people who have recovered from corona, their families are not ready to accept them back. They are saying, we don't trust that they are fine. You do another test. So from age 60 to 93, these 50 people in Hyderabad center are waiting for their families to take them back, and families are saying, no, we don't want you. Such is the stigma. Can you understand the mental state of these people? People don't come to ashram, don't come to shivir, don't come to satsang, don't come to serve in ashram, don't come to meditate in ashram because they have to support the family. And when their old age comes in, family says, who are you? Who are you? That's why the old age homes are getting filled up with people. Somehow we have a plan in ashram. We don't accept anybody who is above 50. Why? Because their minds have been so badly trained and conditioned, and there is no chance that that mind can now be changed back. So, we suggest them to go to an old age home. Ashram is not an old age home. Not. It's very, it might sound cruel, but that's what true is. Yeah, who is a sannyasi? Whether that person is 30 or 50 or 80, will definitely stay here. For them, this ashram is for them only. So they deserve, they will be here. It's not that they will be asked to go to an old age home. No. Because this doership is what is leading people into very ambitiousness and greed. Just to prove. Who is waiting to look at you and say, oh yes, you have done it? There is no stage in any city where all the individuals are honored by the mayor of that city. Oh, you have done so much. One of my swamis used to say, like a cat and dog, you have given birth to 3-4 children. Is this something that we should award you for? What did you do whole life? It sounds very cruel, very rude, but that's because this doership, I will do this, I want to do this. And then I want to experience this through senses and through all the 10 senses, want to experience this, want to do this. And they have these programs in 50 places to see before you die, 50 things to eat before you die, 50 drinks to drink before you die, 50 type of people you should meet before you die. They have this, or 50, or they'll change it to 100. And then people make this book, a tick mark, done this. But there are 95 things which I still want to do. So this doership and bearership are the attributes of antahkarana. Yet they appear in Atman because of their intimate relationship. They are the attributes of the antahkaran, and in the state of deep sleep, due to separation of antahkaran and Atman, they no more appear to be in the Atman. And so, these are not the attributes of Atman, yet by virtue of illusion, they appear to be in the Atman. In this manner, the analogy of the appearance of redness in a crystal due to red piece of cloth kept under it helps one get rid of the illusion of being a doer and bearer. Now see, these things are very deep, and it requires you to again and again reflect it in your mind, and then also in your day-to-day interaction, you need to observe. Do you do this or not? Have you chosen all the antahkarana attribute in you or not? Your antahkarana, your senses want to indulge in the world. They have their own drives, desires. But because of your association with that, you say, no, mind does. It's not mind which will say, I want to do it. Mind is just creating a wave. But you, with the association of the mind, will say, I want it. It's like somebody else has killed somebody, and now you are taking their blame onto yourself. Whatever body did, whatever mind did, whatever the 10 senses did, you take the blame onto yourself. I did it. Then this I would be either very depressed and low, or this I will become because, I made so many temples, I gave that much donation, I gave that much charity. I went for so many pilgrimages, So there's a long list of what you did. And then there's a long list of what you have indulged in. The two friends were sitting and said, I went to a 5-star hotel and I stayed there. The other said, that's nothing. I went to Dubai and I stayed at Al Burj. That's an 8-star. Now the first person is going to be so infuriated and feeling inferior and then infuriated also. And then in his mind will say, even I will go one day. And then we'll speak a lie. Oh, we were planning, my bookings are already done. It's just that my wife isn't getting leave from the office, hence we couldn't go. Oh, we had a plan, we will go there. It's all lie. That's how you end up lying. Chain of lies. And chain of ego boosting for whatever you have indulged in. But who indulged? Use your vivek. Always 10 senses, body and its antakaran. That's it. Now you see this as me. So all the label of being bad or good comes on your forehead. So it's like blackening your own face with black soot and then crying, why I am being insulted. Well, you are doing it. Question. How does the analogy of space in a clay pot eradicate sanga bhranti, the illusion of association? Answer. The akasha within a clay pot is referred to as ghata akasha. Ghat means clay pot and akasha means the space. This confined space appears due to its association with the clay pot. Yet the attributes of the clay pot, such as creation, destruction, etc., do not touch the akasha. Thence akasha is detached. Akasha appears to be associated with the clay pot. That is illusory. Similarly, association of the gross body and the other faculties like mind with the Atma is called Jeeva. The Atma appears to be in association with this conglomerate, yet the attributes of the composite unit of body-mind, such as birth and death, do not touch the Atman because the conglomerate is the seen and the Atman is the seer. Thence the Atman is detached and separate from the composite of body-mind. The Atma is neither linked to the body-mind unit, nor does it identify with it, but the body-mind unit does not belong to the Atman. Instead, it belongs to the 5 great elements. Thus, there is no attachment with this conglomerate either, because the Atman is separate from this body-mind unit, and thus the Atman has no attachment to the body's relations, wife, children, home, etc. The seeming identification and attachment of the Atman with this composite is an illusion. In this manner, the analogy of the space in a clay pot eradicates the illusion of association. Now, this is a very, again, I would say, a great observation and application of scientific principles. And the Buddhist would be so happy because they're using the word emptiness. And the emptiness, but in Vedantic context, we say it is the Akasha element. Akasha means the space. That which gives the space is space. So Akasha is there, like in this room, Akasha is there in a clay pot, and so is this body, just like a clay pot. And Akasha, the space, is right in there, in this body elementally. Also, Atman is right there in this body. Like the Akasha is separate from that clay pot, similarly, the Atman is separate from the clay pot. So the pot is made, used, destroyed. So is this body made in oven of mother's womb, then sustains, and then dies. That is the similarity of the clay pot and this clay body, right? But this birth and death events which occurred in the body because of the illusion, it seems to be it has happened in me. Hence everybody says this is my birthday, and even 90-year-old wants to celebrate when they can't even blow. I saw this one video where this old lady is blowing the candles on her birthday cake, and her artificial dentures all came out and flew onto that cake. And that lady was just laughing. So she nicely picked up and fitted her dentures back in. And I was wondering, now everybody will be eating that cake which has been blessed by her saliva. So it's like getting prasad of this old lady. So all the bacteria and viruses which are in the mouth have gone to the... That's why I am not in favor of, this is a very European or British event where on the birthday they blow the candles on the cake. Now when you blow, now in this corona time everybody is placing that mask. And just see that on in these times, if somebody's birthday comes, they can't blow. And if they blow, nobody is going to eat that. See, this sensibility is coming to people now because of this pandemic, but our rishis had this understanding that the mouth is carrying so many viruses and bacteria. Hence, the food what has been eaten by somebody should not be eaten by another person. So we have this word jutha, eaten by somebody already. Sucha, that is not eaten by somebody. Sucha means shuddha, pure. And somebody is already, now it is impure food. But when people live like an animals, so they don't care. They just eat from wherever. I remember long ago when I used to go to marriages, 30, 35 years ago. And people go to the buffet and they'll not only put the food in their plate, they'll right away eat it like this. And sometimes they'll, with the spoon, take it from the dish and eat, and it's nice. And then again use that same spoon to have another bite. And they can't even have the patience to put the food in their plate and then sit down properly and eat. Even Guru Nanak said that we should eat together, but not from one plate everybody is eating. You go to Gurudwara, everybody gets their own plate. And when they'll serve with that service spoon, so they'll place it like this, just dunk it in the plate. They will not allow the spoon to touch the plate. This is something which we have to teach people in ashram also. Don't have to serve. Because if they'll put the food in the plate and they do the tuck on the plate, you are, again soiling up and making the food bad. It's not a good thing. So sharing drinking from one glass, and all these stupid boys and girls on the dating, our love will grow, let's drink. So one glass and two straws, and both fools are drinking, thinking this will make them grow more closer. Oh yeah, sure, if he has, say, some mouth infection, you will have. If he has some STD, you will have. Why not? Why not? So the body is to be respected, and the other body should be respected too. So you should say, you live with your viruses, I live with my viruses, let's not share that. I know of husband and wife who share toothbrush. The love grows. They look like animals. These are animals who eat from that one basket. They're all eating grass from that. So all the humans, if are eating from that one plate. So in Gurudwaras, we don't have this stupidity. We will give food to everybody. Everybody will, whatever caste, creed, race, religion you have, no problem. But all sit in one line on the floor, and everybody will be given same food. But they will not touch your plate, and they will make sure that their hands don't touch your hands. But the space inside this body remains untouched, and the Atman, which is residing in the body, is untouched. How does the analogy of a snake in a rope eradicate vikāra bhraṇti? Answer. In order to see a rope in a dim light, a vritti arises in the antakaran. What is vritti? It's like a wave arising in the antakaran. It's like a wave. It's like a wave in a lake of antakaran, and travels out through the medium of the eyes. However, due to lack of light, the vritti is unable to gauge the true form of the rope. Thus, this vritti fails to break through the veil of rope. Then the Toolā avidyā, sheltered in the substratum rope of Brahma Chaitanya, gets jolted and mutates into the form of snake. Now, too many new words are coming up. Toolā avidyā. Toolā avidyā is what we consider as with which this whole elemental world is created and is sustained into it. Now, the avidyā can't function on its own, so there is something else in the foundation. So the substratum is the Brahma. Chaitanya is the substratum of Toolā avidyā, and this Toolā avidyā is present in the rope and in the antakaran also. Now, vritti goes out from the eyes, reaches there, but because of the lack of proper light, that rope is not seen. The veil of ignorance is not broken. We say that. The veil of not knowing is ignorance. So, because you can't know what in reality there something is lying, hence, now there is some similarity of the size of a rope and of a snake. So this illusion that there is a snake comes in, and that's we can call the mutation of your wrong knowing has created the snake. Just as the curd is pariṇāma, effect of the milk, the snake is pariṇāma of avidyā. If we curdle up the milk, it turns into a curd. So there is a cause and effect relationship happening. So curd is the pariṇāma, resultant. Pariṇāma's exact word means resultant. So the result of a curd is the milk which has been curdled, and the snake which you saw is pariṇāma of avidyā. It is the avidyā which has mutated itself into a snake. It is Vivarta, a change that merely appears to be of the Brahma Chaitanya, not a real modification. So there is now another word, new word coming, Vivarta. Vivarta is where the cause doesn't changes totally, but is seen in a different form. Like the clay is one and same, but then it can be seen as a pot, a vase, a glass, a plate, or a spoon. So it's changed appearances, but technically it is still a clay. So that's called Vivarta. But in Pariṇāma, it's not just the different appearance, the whole structure has changed. Analogy, the substratum Brahma Chaitanya supports Moola avidyā. Now there is two avidyas, two types of avidyā. One is Toolā, one is Moola. Toolā is where all the external things are related to. Moola is that which has caused your antakaran to come into being. Moola and Toolā. This Moola avidyā gets stirred up by the impulse of prarabdha and takes on the appearance of the triad inert Chaitanya, Chida Abhas and Prapancha. What stirs? They say the prarabdha stirs. And then this prarabdha becomes the reason for the appearance of your antakaran and the reflection of Chaitanya in the antakaran. That's what's called Chida Abhasa. And externally we call it the stirring up of Toolā avidyā has resultant into the prapancha, or the jagat, or the world. This prapancha is pariṇāma of avidyā. Pariṇāma, the consequential effect of avidyā. It is Vivarta of adhisthana Brahma Chaitanya and not its effect. Now, why we can't say that it is the Brahma which has given the consequential effect that this world has been formed? Which many people out of ignorance say it, oh, God has made everything, or even when they say God is everything, this is a wrong statement. The prapancha is the consequential effect of avidyā, not Brahma. And from the Brahma side, we can say it is the Vivarta. Vivarta. Vivarta means is seen in different forms, but technically, Brahma doesn't give birth to anything. In certain Sanskrit texts, Brahma is called impotent, cannot give birth to anything. is impotent. As such, in society, the impotent word is considered to be like an abusive word. But our rishis use this for the Brahma. Why? Because from Ishwara the Jeeva might be happening, or we can say the Ishwara and the avidyā, consequentially made this all prapancha happen. But from what did Brahma happen? Nothing happened. And that's why many people say, then there is no Brahma. Already you have said the Brahma doesn't have name, shape, form, color, creed, smell, touch. And now you say Brahma is not giving birth to anybody. And nothing is born out of Brahma. See, when the Vedas or when the Guru Vani says God is a creator, then there the God word means Ishwara, not Brahma.